Good morning to my country people. Introduction of myself as Coach Pavel, Foreign Secretary of KLO, Kamtapur Liberation Organization. Now I would like to read out the Declaration of Kamtapur Liberation Organization, KLO. Declaration of Kamtapur Liberation Organization. Over the years since its independence in 1947, India has been able to suppress our region through its repressive colonial policy in order to assimilate our people, language, culture, and land. Since ancient times, Kamtapur is an independent and peaceful country with distinct people who had their own unique history, culture, language, and living happily in their land. It had no relationship with ancient India, and therefore it is not a part of the present India or any other country. History has clearly shown that even during the British rule in the Indian subcontinent, Kamtapur was never annexed by will or by force to the British territories and remained a sovereign kingdom hitherto. The Kamtapur kingdom, situated in the western part of Kamrup, was founded by Sandha Rai in 1250 AD, and it is one of the most princely states of the world. According to the Koch kingdom, historically, or the chronicles of Kamtapur, the kingdom was independently ruled by Koch dynasty. It was forcibly merged into the Indian Union in 1948. In 1947, the newly independent Hindustan and Pakistan were grueling with great communal riot due to the partition. As a result, untold numbers of illegal Bengalis from East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, poured into Kamtapur at an alarming rate. Taking full advantage of such bad secession, India set a sinister plan and conspiracy to annex the kingdom of Coach Bihar, Kamtapur, by spreading a wrong message to the last reigning Maharaja Jagadipendra Narayan Bhub Bahadur that the kingdom was able to be merged with Pakistan. The Maharaja, being under duress and emotionally threatened, signed the merger agreement on 20 August 1948. The kingdom was formally annexed into the Indian Union in 1949 and was recognized as a state under C category of the Indian Constitution, but hastily, Kamtapur was incorporated with West Bengal in 1st January 1950. Since then, the Indian government and their puppet West Bengal and Assam governments adopted various ill measures to dilute the Kamtapur national identity within the so-called Indian mainstream without any fault of their own and much against their wish. The Kamtapuri people and their land have been placed under the Indian colonial rule, and some of their ancestral land are also scattered in Bangladesh and Nepal. All across the length and breadth of Kamtapur, the people are exploited and suppressed both politically and economically, and their basic fundamental rights are being violated to the extreme that their very existence is threatened. Besides, the unrestricted and unchecked influx of illegal refugees and foreigners into their homeland created a huge population imbalances and thus reduced the indigenous people to just a minority in the land of their birth. Hence, the Kamtapuris, once absolute powerful people living independently in their kingdom, have been marginalized and unnumbered by illegal settlers. These illegal migrants steadily began to dominate all spheres of life in Kamtapur: peace, political, economy, administration, etc. Under the protection and patronage of the Indian government, the forced entry of multinational companies also introduces new sets of problems. The indigenous people were evacuated and displaced on massive scale, and huge tracts of land were seized in the name of development. New residential homes, industries, parks, defense colonies, etc. were built on these confiscated lands. As a result, the landless indigenous people became laborers in their own land, while many more heavy-heartedly migrated to neighboring states for new opportunities. The massive militarization of our land and heavy human rights violations perpetuated by the Indian Army and Central Reserve Police Force (CRPF) and their puppet forces like West Bengal Police and Assam Police only unmasked India's hegemony over Kamatapur. Yet, in spite of such provocation and betrayals, the Kamatapuri people wanted to resolve the issue peacefully within the framework of the Indian Constitution. It was to this extent that the Kamatapuri Gana Parishad, initially Uttarakhand Dal, wanting to preserve and protect the Kamatapur identity, language, culture and land, launched a peaceful democratic movement in 1986 for the return of a separate Kamatapur state as recognized formally in the Indian Constitution. This peaceful democratic struggle was vigorously continued by various Kamatapur-based people organizations like the Akarsu, GCPA and KPP till to this day. However, the Indian government simply refused to understand the grave situation confronting the indigenous Kamatapur people and ignored the democratic and constitutional demand. Instead, the Dominion government responds back with brutal force on the democratic movement and allowed its military and security forces to commit atrocities upon the innocent people in the name of law and order. Due to all these atrocities and stepmotherly treatment by the Indian government and confronted with a direct threat to their very existence, the Kamatapuri people could not identify themselves as Indians so as to regain sovereignty and independence of Kamatapur for its land and people. The Kamatapur Liberation Organization KLO was established on 28 December 1993, confronted with such a life and death situation for survival as distinct people, whereby their fundamental human rights, both collective and individual, are being denied, suppressed and violated the Kamatapuri people. Recalling the independent existence of Kamatapur, Coast Bihar in history, rejecting the possible annexation of Kamatapur on 28 August 1949 under the Treasurer's Coast Bihar merger agreement made to sign under duress on 20 August 1948 without the consent of the Kamatapuri people, convinced about the present status of Kamatapur within the Indian Union to be occupation, asserting that the Kamatapuris are not Indians and will never be Indians, lamenting over the lost opportunity for socio-economic development since Indian colonial occupation began in 1949, believing firmly that there is no solution to our national question within the framework of the Indian Constitution, having resolved to reject Indian Constitution which does not guarantee the fundamental political rights and also that does not protect the life and property of our people. Determined to end the political repression and social economic backwardness of the Kamatapuri people, and also determined to restore the sovereignty and independence of Kamatapur, do hereby declare that 1. That the Kamatapur Liberation Organization KLO shall henceforth launch an armed struggle for national liberation leading to a people's revolution to establish a free, democratic, sovereign and independent Kamatapur. 2. That India is the main enemy of our national struggle. 3. That the boundary of independent Kamatapur shall comprise the entire North Bengal, 7 districts, 2 districts in Bihar, Western Garo Hills in Meghalaya, and 14 districts in Assam. Despite that, the historical boundaries of Kamatapur comprise 3 districts of present Nepal and undivided Rangpur district, Dinajpur and Panchgarh district in present Bangladesh. 4. That there will be no room for religious communalism, racism and casteism in Kamatapur. 5. That all the communities in Kamatapur, namely Kos, Boro, Mes, Kosari, Rava, Hajong, Garo, Teli, Mali, Jugi, Bhut, Lepcha, Gurkha, Santal, Adivasi, Muslim, and Bengali. Those who came before 1946, etc., shall be recognized as Kamtapuri nationals, and therefore all of them shall take part in the national struggle. 6. That the KLO shall join in the common effort for regional cooperation against India. 7. That the KLO shall extend support to all the struggles inside the India that recognize the national right of the Kamtapuri people. Jibon Singh Kos, Chairman, Kamtapur Liberation Organization, KLO. Thank you.